So why I want to explain more of the reasons I do all the interseeding. Boy, where do I start? First off, it's all about soil building. I started out with some extremely depleted soil, extremely low organic matter, like less than 1%, like 0.5% to 1.5%, maybe 2%, some areas. And very compactable. It's like a silty loam all around here, sandy, silty loam. Kind of compacts pretty easily. So had to really improve the soil, and cultivating and run the tractor over it a gajillion times. Just, it's not doing it very well. So yeah, buckwheat was the first thing I tried about 5 years ago, with corn. And I think I explained a variety of reasons why it's a good plant. Agronomically, it's just not a heavy feeder, but it grows super quickly. That's basically its weed control mechanism. This year, very wet, and it pretty much rained after interseeding every time, like right after. And in a drier year, using the drill I do, getting into moisture, getting it starting to germinate right away, it would probably be a lot better weed control. But given it rained all the time and I was struggling to get it interseeded in the first place, and I was interseeding in wet conditions, buckwheat and my main weed is lamb's quarters now. They kind of got the same start, even though there wasn't a lot of lamb's quarters because of the rotary hoe and whatnot. But we got fellers like that in here. But here's kind of my weed philosophy. Besides soil health, knocking back stuff like thistle, you get... Okay, oh man, there's just too many things. So much more sugar getting into soil. Like, bare soil is gross. Like, it's not feeding biology. You're just kind of, you're spending your bank account in your soil. If you want to organic farm and build your bank account, you have to do something like this, which works really good for building your bank account, I think. Is getting photosynthesis as much as you can. It's higher growing season. I would hate to have a whole bunch of bare ground not doing anything, not feeding all the biology that's giving us free fertilizer, essentially, because that's what organic matter is in the long run, and biological activity is free fertility for your corn. Diversity. You're getting, corn is like one industry, and to have a stable economy, your country, so to speak, needs to have all the different vital industries, and corn can't do it all by itself in terms of covering the biological industries, so to speak. Diversity is the key to that. More different industries, more biological activity happening. You get the idea. Let's see, where was I going? Buckwheat basically grows quickly. Kind of the weed philosophy idea I think about, though, that is kind of opposite from cultivating, is you have some weeds in here. Is it, and I saw these a long time ago, is it the end of the world? Do you go and rip it up and cultivate? I'm gonna rip this extra corn out. The thing is when you're dealing with a bunch of bare soil, a weed has an infinite amount of area to grow in its mind. But all of these guys have, competition in the form of this plant that is beneficial and works well with corn. So they're not gonna shoot for the moon. They focus on growing up and spindly and not on a bunch of roots. They're kind of having a rough time. There's a lot of other weeds that are getting more bullied than these guys. They kind of look more like that will get really shaded out. But the result of that is that they're going to be nice and spindly. So if you come in with a roller crimper, you're really going to kill, I would suspect, the vast majority of them. The rest will be so far put back that, the corn is going to canopy and they won't be able to do anything. And so that's the idea. We'll have another update after crimping. So yeah. That's about all I have to say about buckwheat, I think. Yeah. We'll move on to mustard. Basically, we can just talk about mustard here. Mustard grows quickly, but it is also allelopathic, or is it allelio? Either way, it means it basically sends out a chemical signal that prevents weeds from germinating. And it's the mustard flavor that you and I love. That mustard flavor, glucosinolate, prevents weeds. So, again, in a wet year, there were a lot more things that germinated before the mustard had a chance to send out those signals. But they're cleaner than this. And then they grow quickly. And in soybeans, the idea is to use the inter-row crimper, knock them back so they don't swallow up the soybeans. But they probably won't, because they're a cool season plant that's going to bolt very quickly. And bolting, by that I mean flower, and can be killed by a roller crimper. But so it's not going to spend a whole bunch of time in vegetative growth and get huge. But it's going to send up, a spindly feller with some flowers, but it's still going to suppress weeds without, getting huge, I believe. And that, combined with the crimper, will be able to keep the soybeans well ahead of the mustard. Anyways, that is about it.